Hello creators, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to review the Universim. This is a game that you can find on Steam's early access program for about 30 bucks. I stress early access, that means everything that you're about to see here, including this review, is subject to change. So this is a civilization builder slash god game where you start off in the Stone Age, plopping down this central town hall, whatever. And then from there, you've got these little guys like Adam and Eve. You've got two people, and nuggets as they're called, and they'll just sort of breed and then start populating the species. Now you will have to care for them, and again, in the very early parts of the game, you're going to be only able to build certain structures. You'll unlock a fishery, for example, in the beginning. Eventually, you'll unlock things like farms, but typically you've only got one or two buildings that you can construct. Now, there is a tech tree in this game, and you don't need to build any sort of special tech science building for it to work. You just passively earn these science points over time, and then you can unlock new technologies. Keeping your people happy is a good way to keep your science flowing. There's multiple things that affect your nuggets' happiness, like the buildings that you place, for example, putting down schools and fishing piers and eateries, and doing various god actions, like, rejuvenating people or helping them out with your god powers, that are all beneficial in some way. And some of them are permanent effects, some of them are temporary effects. You can eventually build like parks and other entertainment buildings to increase your happiness level. But then there are some buildings that bring it down, like cemeteries, wood refineries, certain god actions like electrocuting your people or picking them up with telekinesis and throwing them into the ocean. You can do that. You can totally do that. It reminds me of Black and White a little bit from Days of Yore. But anyway. So yeah, there is a happiness section, and having very high happiness will increase your research speed. Also increases the possibility that you'll develop twins, or have twins whenever two nuggets procreate with each other. As I was saying earlier, the tech tree is pretty huge. You can queue up 5 technologies at a time. Some of these technologies can only be unlocked, however, with discovery points. Discovery points, I think, are relatively new, at least new to me. I haven't seen them before, and I've played this a couple of times. Days of Yore again. But, yeah, these discovery points you earn just by constructing certain buildings. Eventually, you can build things like schools, and these schools and other buildings will generate research points for you. And you'll be able to spend those discovery points on those things. And these are like passive. All of the research that you're getting are typically passive in nature. You can unlock fishing, storage areas, agriculture, and then some things are just pure upgrades to existing things you already know. Like mortar and pestle, medicine preparation time decreased by 11%. So there are like passive abilities that you unlock, different things like that. The tech tree is, again, very massive. Hundreds of technologies, goes all the way up to aerospace. I have not personally gotten that far yet, though I am pretty close. The game is not complete yet. I mean, the game is called Universim, which stands to reason that at some point you'll be able to sort of manage entire galaxies. The Universim, that's the title of the game. Whether or not that's going to be a thing, I couldn't tell you, but it sort of implies it with the title. But yeah, more is coming soon. So there's a ton of things already that you can do in this game. And it's just a lot of fun, I think. One complaint or two that I do have is that you cannot build roads in this game. The road paths are pre-generated automatically on the map that you generate. So you can sort of build around them. You can build over them, but that will interrupt the flow of things. And you cannot also put down housing. Housing is just automatically spawned by your nuggets as the need arises, which sort of causes a chaotic city to emerge, one that would upset OCDers like me. I like to have everything in a block-like pattern, and here they've got residential zones plopping up here and there, huts building here. It's beyond my control, and I don't like it. It's just annoying. So don't expect a clean city going into this. You're gonna have to accept the fact that you can't build roads and you cannot influence where people build stuff. You can put down everything else. Fishery piers go on like the coastline. You can put down engineering huts which repair nearby buildings. In fact, you're going to be doing a lot of that. As the Nuggets continue to expand your city with residential areas, you have to constantly then build structures that support them, otherwise they lose their durability and they crumble to dust. You have to build engineering huts all over the place to make sure that doesn't happen. You have to staff them, of course, so you have to keep your population going that way. Eventually, you get fire brigade buildings, which stop fires. You can build, I think they're like watchtowers, which sort of defend against wolf attacks and other civilizations that are on the planet. That's another thing. You can't really, as far as I can tell, delegate how many civilizations appear on your planet. You can trade with them and all that stuff. Sometimes they get mad at you, but you can't really say, I want this world all to myself. You also can't really determine or shape the world that you're about to embark on. Like there's no like world creator sandbox thing where you can customize it to your liking. You're just sort of thrown into a world, and you have to be content with what it gives you. But these are complaints that are minor at the moment. The game itself is fantastic. You can zoom all the way out. You can rotate the globe and see everything at a glance. It's like Supreme Commander sort of that way, or more like Planetary Annihilation, I should say, which is an RTS, but that's neither here or there. But yeah, you've got to manage so many aspects. Typically, you have to manage resources like food. Eateries convert raw food into cooked food, so you can build things like farms and fisheries and stuff like that. My complaint, though, is that the later technologies you get really don't help you address. So I've got like 15, 20 farms. I've got 5 fisheries per lake. Fisheries can reduce the fish population to 0. Your water mills, which bring in water to your nuggets, that will drain lakes, so you can actually spawn rain or just let the rain occur naturally and fill the lake back up. That is a thing, which is really cool. And there is even a planet condition meter. So, the more trees you cut down and the like, the more pollution that the planet will receive, and that will make the planet worse. So there is an ecology thing going on here too. Eventually you unlock power. You can only unlock one power type though out of the 3. There's like combustion, which is like treadmills. There's wind turbines, and then there's something else. I don't remember. It's dirtier. But anyway, I've got wind turbines. I've got like 8 of them, and I still can't keep my stupid city powered. And there are upgrades to them, but they're very expensive. You can use a god power called electricity to zap batteries that you have down, and that will charge them manually. So you can get away with shortages that way. But these god powers that you enact are used via creator points, which again passively earn over time. So you just can't keep spamming things over and over. You have to strategically use these powers. There's warehouse storage. That's another complaint I have is, yes, you can store things, but you can't it's just in the later stages of the game, it's very inefficient. It doesn't cover everything that you need. I feel like I'm not given enough warehouse storage. And you really can't designate, I only want these things here, I only want these things here. It's just a very rudimentary storage building that I have very little control over, much like the road system in the residential zones. In terms of resources, you've got your typical wood and stone, and then later you can refine them into planks and bricks, respectively. There's herbs, iron, oil, there's glass, which you can refine, gas, cement, chemicals, electronics, steel beams, plastic, fuel, and so on. So there's a lot of different resources that you're going to be mining out with various buildings and then refining them with other buildings. So there is some resource chaining going on here. And again, that is necessary for the well-being of your society. Whenever you do place a structure down, and this took me forever to figure out, but there's a Roman numeral 1, 2, 3, and 4 based on the current age that you're on or the current technology level. So you can build whenever you research a technology, you automatically start building better versions of it. But that requires better resources. Like for example, you'll be building these farms, for example, with only wood and stone. You're like, yeah, I'm just going to build a bunch of these, fine. But then you unlock the technology to get a better version of the farm, and you start putting those down. You're like, well, why aren't these farms being built? Oh, I'm automatically building the level 2 version of it now, and now I need this other resource. I need bricks or something now, and I don't have any because I didn't start that production yet. So you can select the Roman numeral on the left before selecting a building to construct, and that will build the lesser version of it or the greater version of it. So that's a quick tip there, something it took me forever to discover that it was there. So I don't want to like spend too much time teaching you the game because the game is still under development, but I do recommend this game. For 30 bucks on Steam's Early Access, there's a lot to do here. There is Twitch integration. It was funny because your viewers can give you all these points. Typically you earn creator points passively, or you earn tech points passively with bits, and just over time they earn points, and they can give you points in return. And I think I went from like first Stone Age tech to future tech in like half an hour, which is realistically it's just not doable on your own, but it's fun to mess around with. So there is Twitch integration. You can mess around with that if you see fit, if you're a streamer or you know the system very well. But I still feel the game needs some balance at this point in time. I have all these farms, and I still don't feel like I'm generating enough food to keep everyone fed. And I'm kind of running out of space, honestly. And every time I expand, I have to build more engineering stations and more fire stations to keep up with everything. And again, you're being attacked by wolves or other civilizations, so you need defense structures down. So again, your civilization will branch out automatically, and in turn forces you to do the same with resources that you may or may not have. So I would like more control over civilization growth, over residential and roads, and some other things. And again, I feel like certain buildings just don't generate enough of a resource for me to fully feel like my needs are being met in that regards. Again, I got like 15, 20 farms, and I don't feel it's making a dent in my food income at all. I've got so many fisheries at this point, it's crazy. But again, I'm still starved for food. Luckily, you can trade with other people. There is like this intergalactic black market that you can mess around with should you see fit. So there's a lot to do here, and the game is coming along very nicely. It's been in development for quite a while now, and it's come a long way since day one. So at this point, yes, I do recommend it. If you like the idea of a civilization/god game with problems, then you may want to check this out. It does have seasons too, so that's also something to consider. I don't think before it had that, but here you have to worry about wintertime, natural disasters. You can toggle that on or off, and a lot of other things. So yes, give this a shot. I look forward to the day though when I can actually start creating my own world. A little bit more customization options in terms of, what kind of other civilizations I meet, if any. I would love to see more of those options. And again, the options to build roads and residential zones myself, rather than watch my city come apart at the seams because it's expanding too quickly for its own good. I would love to see something like that. But other than that, yeah, the game is coming along great. 30 bucks, I would pick this up. If you guys haven't already subscribed to me on Twitch and YouTube, that way you can stay up to date with any new content I happen to publish. This is Vince, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.